Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an Airbus pilot, and welcome to MK Studios' brand new LaGuardia airport. I just really have to say I love this placard over here in New York. New airport, it's about time, and it so is. Just have a look at this wonderful looking modeling of the terminal that we've got at LaGuardia airport over here, and also have a look at these beautiful connections between all the different parts of the terminal. You can really see MK Studios put a lot of effort into creating this one. Now, we are also filming this one with my brand new computer, so I am really looking forward to see what kind of performance we're going to get. We've simply maxed out the settings, but we have applied auto FPS, so I've locked the frames in place to a 57 since my monitor's maximum frame rate is 60. So that is what we're recording at, and I'm recording this one at right this FPS. So, well, let's go right into today's ride, which is going to be the Airbus A320. So this one's literally a system test over here, putting the most demanding aircraft that I have together with the most demanding region that I have, as we're going to fly today from LaGuardia over to Washington National Airport, featuring about as many lovely add-ons as we can ride in this one. So follow me inside and let's take a seat in the cockpit of our beloved Airbus. And here we are. Okay, so we are going to just quickly power up the airplane over here, and then we are going to have a look into our flight plan. So here we go, and power is applied. Now let's give it a short moment. Scheduled off block in 14. Well, that means we got to be rather quick, but I'm sure we can make that. So having a look into the weather briefing then, Washington itself is reporting pretty nice weather. Should be good for our arrival down here as well. And over in Washington dollars, it's looking good as well. Pittsburgh is looking good as well until later in the day. So going over to our operational flight plan, let's have a look at what we need then. They want us to go out with 9,000 on takeoff, 400 for taxi, so 9.5 is going to work. Plus a bit for the APU, make it 10,000 pounds, and then we should be more than good to go. Okay then, quick look over into the sim setting. Let's go ahead and use the airline settings over here, as I really like those standby instruments that we've got fitted on the American Airlines A320 over here. Really lovely one. Okay, so mass and balance then, and as we said, for the fuel we're going to take 10,000 pounds today, that is. Alright, apply and load, and we are gonna do that through GSX. Alright, so with the basics done, let's go ahead and continue our power up. APU fire test is coming up. Alright, and then I suggest we just get the APU running straight away in order to get some air conditioning going. Have to say, from personal experience, external power isn't available in the USA like all the time. Indeed, usually we're just running on the APU whenever we take over the aircraft over in the US. So if you're a real life pilot in the United States, then I'd be happy if you could shed some information into external power usage in the States, as that's really a topic that interests me. Alright then. So, IRS alignment time, and here we go, and then we can go ahead with our preliminary performance calculation. We can do over here, so let's just get the latest weather, which is literally wind calm. So suggest runway 4 is looking good, all of that is looking good. Let's have a quick look into the performance. So we're scheduled with 134, let's calculate 135, and we should be more than good to go with that. So 135. Alright, so calculate that. Suppose we don't have intersection data. No, we don't. That's fine. Flaps 3 departure. Well, the runway is short, but it isn't that short. You can see 1+F works pretty fine here as well. That's awesome. Okay, cool. So for a route, we are going direct to Big E, so let's see what kind of sit they have available for us over here in LaGuardia. This is my first time flying out from the airport, so I haven't really seen that part yet. But I wouldn't be too surprised if ultimately, yeah, there is no real sit available over here. So chances are we are just going to follow whatever is initially going to take us out from the New York area, and then we'll just have to see what we're gonna get. LaGuardia 7 does sound rather appealing, I have to say, though. Interestingly enough, from runway 4, I can't really find a lot of SIDs over here, so it looks like it's mostly radar vectors indeed then. Well, okay. The Bronx climb does look good though, going right into the direction of Manhattan. So, well, chances are we might do something like that. Traffic file over Biggie don't exceed 250 until reaching 11,000. Okay, well, so the LaGuardia 7 departure is what we're going to take then. Top altitude 5,000, looking good. Alrighty, then let's do some initialization over here. So, ATSU, AOC menu, flight init, request data. Then let's see what we're going to get. And this is looking good. And over here we can do the data request as well. Aircraft status 320, IAEV 2500 engines, database current, very good. Okay. In that case, let's turn on some lights for the FO to start performing the walk around. And then I'd say we can just start with our safety check. So oxygen is looking good, hydraulic quantities are looking good, engine oil quantity is looking good, flaps are in agreement, spoilers are up. So brake check then. Looking good. And that brake is set again. Alright, perfect. So then, fueling is almost finished already, that's awesome. Let's go ahead with our pre-flight procedure while the first officer is going to go out and do the walk around for us. So 3 minutes are past, APU bleed can come on, and the refueling, yeah, is about done. That is fine. Okay, batteries loading and working just fine. Alright then, engine fire tests, let's have a good look. Working on number 1 and also working on number 2. That is awesome. Then we can go ahead down here. Let's see what the current QNH is. Alright, and let's go. QNH 3013. Here we go, and that is 1020. Okay. So here we go, 1020. So date 23rd is okay, and that is generally looking good. Transponder we'll set 2000 in there, that should have been set anyway. Okay then, well, let's go right into the MCDU. So flight plan uplink, thank you for that. Now, let's go ahead and have a look. American 2174. Cost index 20, cruise level planned at 300. Okay, all those messages are understood, that's fine. Okay, so departure runway 4 and we take no SID, that's fine. So we gotta use heading after we become airborne. And for the arrival into Washington, let's see what exactly the weather is like over there right now. So, from the flight plan, 220 at 4, that might become runway 19, it might also become the other one. Let's just have a very quick look in here. So, ground chart, airport info. Yeah, that might very well become runway 19 if the clouds make it possible. And they should, they have clear skies. Okay, awesome. Then let's just go ahead and enter the RNAV approach runway 19, and we might just fly the visual nonetheless. That is yet to be decided. Okay, so Clipper 3 arrival out of Mike X-Ray Echo. So Clipper 3, Mike X-Ray Echo, via Fergie, looks good, insert. Okay, so LaGuardia X1 is going to be our emergency waypoint, and that's KLGA, what's that, 04 slash, what is that runway track? Let's have a look, 045 slash 25 miles. Okay, looking good then. So, LGA X1, here we go, and enter the hold over there, 045. Inbound right hand turn, looking good, and then KLGA for an immediate return. And that is going to be the ILS runway 4 approach. Perfect. Then let's go ahead and put the same thing in here. So that's the extended center line, and then this is our emergency waypoint. And that's looking good. Nothing in the rat nav, then LaGuardia 04 is going to go into here. And now let's go ahead with our performance initialization. Plant at 124.7. Let's just see if we already have a load sheet available though. Or a preliminary one at least. Yes, we do. Okay, load sheet preliminary. Let's just have a look over here. Zero fuel, yeah, 124.611. So it's exactly as per the plan. And what's the preliminary CG we've got? 30.7. Alright, 10,000 pounds on the block fuel. And then we can have a look into the fuel figures as well. So contingency 500, alternate 1.9, final reserve 2.3. So let's say 0.5. Alternate minus 2.1. Very interesting there. Alright, and we'll leave that one. So extra time, 23 minutes. Let's see about the wind component. It's a headwind of 8 knots. So H8. Enough accuracy upgraded. Thank you. GPS primary. Thank you. Okay, so add the performance then. Flaps 1, 60 degrees. And the speeds 32, 35, 35. That's looking good. Standard speeds over here, not too fast, not too slow. I really like that on the Airbus aircraft. When I flew the 737, you always had so incredibly high speeds, but both on the 320 as well as on the 330, you just get much lower speeds. It's a much better design. You can really tell that from the speeds that the plane is built that way, contrary to the 737, which is basically built, you know, just to, how do you say that in the nicest way, really. The 37 is basically just built an airplane upon a previous airplane upon a previous airplane upon a previous airplane. So, you know, just not taking that too serious, of course. Alright, so, I'd say close to the immediate New York area. Let's just fly a bit slower. So, speed 202 is clean. Let's go ahead and pre-select that over here. And remember what we had in the chart, that they want us to fly 250 until 11,000 over here. So, let's insert that as well. Alright, looking good that way. Then, unfortunately, we still can't save the route, I assume, or at least we don't get correct indications in here, okay. Well, that's fine. So, that's about it then. Gotta pre-select the heading on the departure, and set 5,000 in here. Okay. Ground cockpit. Mind your ears, oxygen test. Okay, so that should pretty much be it. Let's accept that preliminary load sheet down there. How's the cabin doing? Still working. That's fine. Alright then, cool. So, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and do a departure briefing if you're interested. Just verify the MSA once more. Come on, LaGuardia, here we are. $3,000 basically in the departure sector. Well, that's fine. We can work with that. Okay, so for the briefing then. LaGuardia runway 4 on the LaGuardia 7 departure. Initial climb 5,000 feet, and the first cleared altitude is going to be, well, 5,000. Okay, MSA 3,000, extra fuel and time. We have roughly 20 minutes available. Yep, I do agree. We don't really have hotspots for taxi. Stop margin for ejected takeoff is a few hundred meters only, so we are rather go-minded if possible. But in case we go, EOSIT is straight at 25 miles, climbing 3,000 feet. That's going to keep us safe. For an immediate return, LaGuardia is available, but we can at any time also divert to JFK, where we've got a longer runway available. Maintenance is available in both airports anyway. Special considerations: it's a rather busy airspace and there is some low-flying VFAR traffic, especially in the area around the Hudson, which I suppose we're going to fly over today. And therefore I've pre-selected an initial climb speed of 200 knots. Apart from that, we have 250 below 11,000 today, which I've entered in the FMS as well. Do you see any threats for the departure? No, no threats. Alright, I agree. Then let's go ahead with the cockpit preparation checklist, please. Gear pins and covers removed. Fuel quantity 9,960 pounds balanced. Seatbelts on, ADRs. Nav, Baroref, QNH 3013 or 1020 hectopascals. Cockpit preparation checklist complete. Company message, load sheet. And that's the final one. In compliance with edition number 1, American 2174, November 656 Alpha Whiskey is correct. Okay, 141 passengers plus 5. And, well, with that, we could select low flow on the packs. Well, it's just about on the border. I tell you what, we're just going to keep standard to avoid getting the advisory on the ECAM. Okay, so 124.6, that's 100 lower than what was planned. And we've got 30.9. Alright, that's a takeoff weight of 134.2 and 27 or 29.7. 134.2 is correct, we can accept that, and that gives us a trim of about minus 0.4. Alright, pretty much like this. We calculated 135, so we're good to go with that. Alright, makes me happy. Ground from cockpit. Go ahead. So, please confirm all ground equipment is removed, bypass pin is installed, and the area is clear. Okay, stand by, we're just removing the ground equipment and then we're ready to go. Roger. Okay then, well, they're still setting it up, but let's go for it. Before start checklist. Park and brake. Always look here at the triple indicator and not just at the switch. The triple indicator is really where you see the brake pressure. So, park and brake, set, takeoff speeds and thrusts. V1 132, VR 135, V2 135, flex 60. Windows. Closed, beacon on, before start checklist complete. So, they are connecting the tuck right now. That means we'll be good to go in a moment. Okay, aircraft loaded, thank you for that. Okay, to give you a short idea, we're standing right over here. Pushback is going to be onto the taxiway here, and then probably left on the Golf Golf, Papa, cross runway 22, and then... Well, actually, we might just go left onto Bravo and without crossing. That's probably the easiest option. So we might just do a pushback with the nose to the right and go out like that. Via Foxtrot onto Bravo, down southbound runway 4. Yep, that looks good to me as well. Okay, awesome. Then let's go in for the taxi chart, or the moving map of the taxi chart, I should say. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a GSX profile for the airport yet, so we don't have one. We'll have to see how it's going to turn out then, and whether we are going to be able to do a proper pushback here or not. So let's see, continue pushback. That's going to be nose right. Okay, let's see then. Parking brake is released. Okay, ground. Parking brake released. You're clear to push facing west, runway 04. Beautiful airport, isn't it? I do have to say, from the 3 airports we've got available here in New York, LaGuardia is the coziest looking. I really like it. I really do. I really do. I'm not sure if you can see it on the video, but there's a little bit of flickering over here and over here going on the apron. Not exactly sure where that comes from. The area a little bit up higher over here is not flickering. So, well, not entirely sure. Okay then, starting engines. Sequence will be 2 then 1. Engine 2 start. Let's see where it's pushing us. Yeah, probably not the ideal position here, but without a profile, what can you do? Okay, so brake set, please remove ground equipment and advise when clear. So, engine start is progressing nicely over here. Another thing that I'm not entirely sure if you can see it is the reflections and the scratches on the FOND here. They are vibrating. It looks a little strange. Okay, engine 1 start. Let's see if we can see that close up. Yeah, over here you can somewhat see it, how the entire display is vibrating. Pretty sure that that's not supposed to be, but just checking. FS Realistic is not on, so that's not causing it. I don't know. Must be a Fenix thing then. Okay, it's motoring the engine over here. And here we go, the igniter has come on. And the start is progressing nicely. It's still confusing to me that you initially see the amber axis on the N1 and N2 gauges before you start the engine. I mean, apparently that's how the IAEs work. It's just really strange, as Airbus philosophy on the other aircraft is that you must not initiate engine start as long as there are any axes available. But suppose that's how the airplane is. Okay, ground, we have 2 good starts. Clear to disconnect. Show me the signal on the left side with a pin. Have a wonderful day. Bye now. After start checklist. Anti-ice. Off. ACOM status. Checked. Pitch trim. That is 30%. And radar trim neutral. After start checklist complete, we'll do the flight control check on the go. Clear left side. Clear right side. Alright, let's give it a go. Brake check. Pressure 0. So regardless of where we go over here, eventually we gotta make our way on Bravo, so might as well go straight down here, something like that, via Juliet. At least we get to see a little bit of the ramp then. And hoping we don't get any conflict with the WestJet over there. Okay, we're clear on the right. So let's see where the WestJet is going, and then we adjust our taxi as needed. Okay, the WestJet is going left. Probably entering the ramp here. Yeah, then we are gonna go right. Okay then, onto Alpha. Over to the left into the direction of Bravo. Interesting how you go left, right, left, right, left, right. For sure this is an airport where you learn to taxi your airplane properly. Okay, cool. Clear right side. Clear left side. Okay. So, flight control track. Full up. Full down. Neutral. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Rudder. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Okay, very nice. This airplane does actually not have the cabin ready as part of the ECAM memo, but it has the cabin ready flashing on the right. That's new with the latest Phoenix update, isn't it? Hello, Emmanuel here.
The cabin is now secure for takeoff.
Thank you. Okay, that's quite awesome. That's really nice to see that we're getting variation over here. Okay, taxi checklist. Flight controls, checked. Flap setting. Conv 1 plus F. Radar and predictive wind shear, on and auto. Engine mode cell, norm. ECAM memo. Takeoff no blue. Taxi checklist complete. Okay, so quick look at the transponder here. Okay, TCAS tells me no traffic inbound. Cabin crew, prepare for departure. Lineup checklist. Takeoff runway. 04 full length. TCAS, Tara, PEX 1 and 2, off. Lineup checklist complete. Alright, the AI is still using the opposite runway, it seems. Or it's just taxiing past it. Well, that's fine. The guy's gone. Okay, takeoff. I will just ignore that inbound guy over there. It's AI. What can you do? Manflex 60 SS runway A thrust blue. Thrust set. One on knots. V1, rotate. Positive climb. Gear up. Okay, nav. Pull heading 360. Thrust climb, open climb, A thrust. Sometimes the sim does look a little strange, doesn't it, with its photogrammetry. Okay, flap 0. But it sure is a beautiful look outside, isn't it? So reaching 3,000, that's about where the bird strike has to happen now. And down there's the famous bridge that they just went by. And then they touched somewhere over there. You know whom I'm talking about. Okay, let's go up higher then. Left turn heading to 70. And managed speeds. Come on, flight director. It really insists on 25 degrees bank, does it? Now this is a much more beautiful look, isn't it? Yep, I do like that. Alright, LaGuardia down here, a Hudson over here, and this is roughly where the final position of the US Airways flight was. Somewhere next to those docks over here. Well, they did have a nice and long runway, didn't they? Where's Teterboro then? Over here it is, I think. Yeah, that is Teterboro. Well, yeah, that would have been quite a distance. No way they could have made that. Okay then, 250 until 11. And let's make a left turn 250 on course to Biggie. And passing 11. Going to keep everything on the panel as it is for as long as we're hand flying. And then we are going to do all the switching later. So, bye-bye Manhattan. Lovely view on the World Trade Center down there, though. Okay, autopilot is on. Let's continue the climb up flight level 300. And then time to clean it up. Passengers are released. Go to airports over here and over here. And then let's go direct to Biggie and thereafter clear and copy. Why is the engine page fixed here? Did I accidentally click that? I mean, there are no exceedances. Not sure, maybe I clicked it accidentally. Should not have been there. Okay, so clear this and this. There is nothing in the red nav, active to secondary. And then we've got cruise 300, optimum 370, maximum 398. And KDCA 19. Yep, should have been DCA. Alright, 170 miles to run. Let's see how far out is the top of descent. 68. Well, that might have been a bit ambitious to go to level 300. Tell you what, let's make that something like 240 or so. Yeah, that looks better. Should give us a new top of descent as well then. So looking at about 100 miles in cruise or something. Yep, that is alright. Ooh, cabin pressure going wild. Climb. And 24,000 blue. Is that standard? Standard, cross-check, passing level 183. Now. Checked. And above 18,000 lights can go out as well. Alright, and with that, we've pretty much made it. Let's have a look into the arrival then, and get the arrival weather. So this one they finally fixed. Previously you needed to press return twice. Now it's working on the first attempt. Good job there. Okay, 240 at 310 miles, fuel level 250, 8 degrees, 3013. That's what we have already. Great! So it looks pretty good that we can fly the visual approach, the river visual. Even though they do fly the RNAV mostly nowadays. But let's just have a look into the chart. So, RNAV 19, here it is. As you can see, the RNAV is pretty much an overlay of the previous visual approach. So we'll program the RNAV and yeah, then we're just going to fly the overlay, which is pretty much the same as the previous visual. Approaching, checked. Traffic doesn't seem to be a factor over here. Speed, vertical speed. Oh, it's popping up over there. Plus 9.3, okay, no problem. 1,000 to go. Checked. I'll tell you what, let's go and fly direct Modena VOR, and from there we enter the star anyway. Okay, direct to Modena. And then DCA 19 is in. We'll just quickly monitor the level off over here, and as soon as we are level, we are going to start with our procedures. Alt Star. And Mach Alt Cruise. Okay, perfect. So this is a much nicer level down here. In the real world, when I looked at flight radar, they flew in flight level 220. So, well, I suppose SimBrief was a little bit ambitious, bringing us all the way up to flight level 300 here. Okay, so we've got the chart for the on-off approach 19, and then let's see, ground charts. We need the airport chart and the parking gates. Perfect, so we're going to be landing it down here in 19, vacate somewhere to the right, and then we end up at the terminal. I do believe we're parking right over here from the looks at flight radar. Okay, so arrival chart as well, and we've got the Clipper 3 arrival. So, coming from up here, Modena. Then Clipper and 12,000, Baltimore 250 knots 10,000, and from there we're basically going more or less straight in, are we? I mean, we're flying off to the right here again via Naas, and then down on the arrival into Romeo 19 in order not to overfly Washington City, which is basically right here. Okay. So that's the basic idea of what we're gonna do then. Let's go ahead and set it up. So, Clipper 12, Baltimore 10 and 250. It's checked, everything on the downwind is checked as well. And here we go, starting from Fergie. So that's 3,000 feet, max 210 knots, RMP 0.89. Interesting, well, we'll just take the RMP 0.11. That's gonna be good then. Authorization required. As American Airlines, we do have that. Okay then, so from Fergie we go towards Derrick, Grace, Seatuck. So we've got Derrick 2600. It's correct. Grace should be 1700. Yeah, that's what it says in there. Then on towards Seatuck 1500. And thereafter it's going to be 3-degree descent, which we have in here as well. And that is going to be via Fonvi, Jubal, Wirzo, Firab. So, Fonvi, Jubal, Wirzo, Firab. That looks good. And a missed approach in case we needed Climb 3000 on the final approach track to Romeo 19. Then batten and hold, continue climb and hold to 3000. Okay, and that is what we're gonna do. Perfect, we don't need any NAVRAD. We have the runway already, that's awesome. And then for the descent, 0.64, 270 knots. That looks, well, rather slow to me. Let's go ahead and speed that up a bit. 0.64/300. Okay, so for the arrival, QNH 3013, 8 degrees, 240 at 3 is what we just requested earlier. Trans level is correct, and the minimum 491. Bingo. Okay, 2185 meter runway. That is not the very longest. Let's go ahead and run some calculations. So it's a dry runway. Let's get the latest and apply. So for our landing weight then, 6.2 means we burn roughly 1,000 pounds. So if we take 131.5, we're definitely conservative. So 131.5. That's not even working. Interesting. Okay, if we take auto thrust off, then we can do low auto brake, flaps full. Okay, sounds good. That's what we're gonna do. So, full, low, and it's going to be manual thrust. Okay then, for the go around, let's have a quick look into the chart over here. MSA 2600, go around altitude 3000. Well, let's just take 2600 for the engine out. And in case of a standard go around, let's take 1010 and 1010. Okay, fuel prediction 28 minutes extra, that's very good. And we'll copy the active to the secondary, and that's it. Okay, looking good to me. Then, are you ready for the briefing? Yes, sir. Alright, so MSA 2600, we are following the clipper arrival for the RMP approach runway 19er. Minimum going to be 491, and the go around is straight at climbing 3000 and join the hold at the missed approach point. Extra fuel and time, we have about 25 minutes safe plus a little bit. Alright, I do agree with that. So guidance is going to be the final approach mode. Landing flap setting full, stop margin is not a lot really. That was just a couple feet we had over here, as you can see. Okay, reversers will be used in idle, auto brakes low, and planned runway exit is going to be to the right hand side. For the taxiing, I don't really have any hotspots, and in terms of special operations, we have a pretty low RMP on this approach, 0.11. So, number one is that, tell you what, it should be inserted automatically, but I'm just going to do it manually right here. Might give us an early alert, so if we get an early one, then we just got to deal with it, and maybe reset it, the minima, or the RMP as needed. If it stays like that all the way down to landing, then we'll just have to deal with it and fly the visual approach instead of the RMP approach. In general, visual and RMP is pretty much the same over here, so we can even use the RMP overlay for the visual if we look out and determine that our position indicated is correct, even though our AMP might exceed the RMP. But it's going to be a visual then. Okay, in terms of non-standard operation, we got the final turn very shortly in front of the runway. So either we are aligned properly, or we just go around and come back for a second attempt, okay? No cowboy actions or anything the likes. You see any threats for the arrival? Nope, I think we've already talked about the important stuff. Excellent. Now let me do a quick PA to the passengers, and then we're gonna deal with the descent. Ladies and gentlemen, from flight deck, this is your captain speaking. We'll start our descent towards Washington in a few moments. Remaining flight time about 20 minutes. The weather over there currently clear skies, temperature 8 degrees centigrade, which is somewhere in the 60s in Fahrenheit. We would like to thank you so much for choosing American Airlines today. Hope that you enjoyed your stay on board, and hope to see you again on board of a future flight very soon. Thank you for your attention, and we'll see you all again on the next one. Alrighty. So, over at Modena right now, that means there should be Philadelphia somewhere on the left. And there is Philadelphia somewhere on the left. Looking really lovely, isn't it? Really lovely. Okay then, back inside, let's go for our descent. Take it all the way down to 10. Descent, alt throttle 120 magenta. The 120 comes from the clipper restriction over here, but we can go all the way down to 10. The plane is going to manage that very well by itself. Alrighty, so all the way already on the way down. I do like that. In the real world, I really wouldn't want to fly short haul any more than I really need to anymore, but it is fun occasionally, I have to say, when doing short sectors on a 3-sector flight. But you know, Okay, so going down nicely along the star. Lovely look at the area outside. Oh, look at that. We made it through the cockpit window. Beautiful. Beautiful looking terrain down there as well. I like it. I really do. So with the new computer, the performance has really become pretty nice, I have to say. Really, really nice. So still accelerating on constant Mach number over here until we reach 300 knots. And by that time we'll probably almost have to slow down again over there, over Baltimore, but should be fine. So seatbelts shall come on 15 minutes before, so 22. Well, we might make it a bit earlier since we've got a rather long downwind here, let's say 20, so seatbelts on at 05. So, time marker, so that's just about prior clipper. Okay, probably gonna turn them on at 15,000 then. As it is 15,000 or 15 minutes, whichever is earlier. Okay, thrust idle. Fenix did a pretty good job on the updates in regards to the airplane's descent performance, respectively flight model, and the VNAV performance as well now. It still has small deviations which are completely normal in the real world as well. So still has small deviations, but in general the descent rate versus the applied speed and the pitch is looking pretty good now. So basic pitch power values are pretty fine right now in the Fenix. Do have to say that. So the plane is really progressing very well. When I compare this with the first version, then great progress in there. I just looked down at the Ecam over here and just saw temperature 70 something, and then I was like, oh yeah, Fahrenheit. But for a short moment that really looked like, oh, something gotta be wrong. Right, speeds. Well, it's flying a little bit slower than planned now, but that is fine. I mean, we have a very slight headwind. It used to be a little bit stronger previously, so that is okay. That is okay. But it's still holding it in idle. That's one of the important things there, that we are not descending with thrust applied the entire time, like in some previous versions. Okay, set QNH. QNH 3013 cross-check passing 17.6 now. Checked. And the lights are coming on. So, can we see Baltimore already? Is it on the, is it that one? Probably, huh? About 30 miles away. Yeah, that might match over here. Okay, so approaching 15,000, time is 04 now. Yeah, that's fine. Normally when there would be a big discrepancy between the time where we turn the seatbelts on and the expected landing time, I would just give the cabin crew a call in order to let them know ahead in time that they don't, you know, sit in their jumpsuits and are wondering why we're flying around for 20 minutes while they're expecting the landing any moment. Okay, 15,000, belts are coming on. But keeping the cabin crew in the loop is really one very important thing on your flights, because it tends to be, you know, in the cabin you don't get to see as much as you do in the flight deck, so you basically just need a little bit of help to be kept in the loop in some occasions. Like, of course, they can look at the route map that the passengers have on their IFE, but nonetheless, you know, it's still one of those things, that route map doesn't necessarily tell you much anyway, so it's always good to keep the cabin in the loop. Company message, we're looking at that in a moment. In the meantime, just look at those lovely textures over here. Really have to say, Fenix did step it up with the latest Block 2 update. The new cockpit looks really fantastic. Had to take a screenshot of that. Okay, about to reach Clipper. Thereafter it should give us a constant rate of descent down to Baltimore. Let's have a quick look into the company message. They probably want a delay report. Yes, they do want a delay report of 4 minutes. Okay, that's 10,000 blue, out blue. And now we go on to a constant rate of descent between the Clipper and the Baltimore restrictions. Okay, so just gotta figure out that delay over here. Delay allocation card is showing people around the terminal a delay option, an acceptable one. Well, let's put it on delay of inbound flight, OAD. Or if we want to be a bit more honest, it should be miscellaneous. Yeah, let's do that. OTH. So, OTH, 4 minutes. Showing people an awesome MK Studios terminal. That is a valid delay reason, isn't it? Out it goes. Let's see what we are going to get back. Probably an invitation to the chief pilot's office, but I can live with that. Right, Baltimore right over there. 1,000 to go. Checked. That's a huge harbor down there, isn't it? Lovely how you can see the tunnel entrance down here. Where is it coming out? Here? Nah. Gotta be somewhere over here. Entering down here. Oh well. Gotta be somewhere here. Okay, so engine spooling down because it's reducing speed towards 250. But as you can see, on a constant rate of descent segment, or geometric path descent as it's correctly called, it's just maintaining that rate while it's reducing speed. That's why it's starting to reduce a bit earlier, because it knows that while maintaining those 500 feet a minute rate of descent, it's not slowing down as well as it would in level flight. Okay, so message received from Ops. Oh, no invitation to the chief pilot's office. Okay. Gotta be happy about that. Speed alt stop. We'll just maintain 10,000 for a little bit, because what the VNAV logic would do now is to try and calculate constant rate of descent all the way over here until Neas, and then a turn towards Fergie for the arrival. Since we're probably going to turn a little bit earlier over here at Rex, the VNAV descent would not be that useful for us right now. Okay, Alt. Instead, what we're going to do is quite easy. Rex, we have about 25 miles to run, and we want to be in roughly 4,000 feet over there. That means we got to lose 6,000, so we're looking at 18 miles towards Rex before we're going to start our descent. So basically in about 3 or 4 miles, and then we should be good to go with an idle path descent. And lose our speed in the inbound turn, together with the last 1,000 feet to our platform, then we should be good to go. Okay then, maintaining 10,000. GPS primary, AMP is looking good. Alright. Approach checklist, please. Barrel ref. QNH 3013. Seatbelts on, minimum. Barrel 491. Auto brake, low. Engine mode selector, norm. Approach checklist complete. Okay, so down we go, 3000. That's thrust, idle, open, descent, alt, 3000 blue. So, auto tank fuel transferred. Well, that's interesting. Transfer is still in progress. It shouldn't say transferred then, but actually just XFR without the D. The D indicates that it should be finished, transferred. But this is still in progress, as you can see. So, nice rate of descent. This is actually much better than what version 1 had. So, 1400, something like that, 14, 15, 16, all that is good, but an airliner wouldn't have more than 2,000 feet a minute rate of descent in idle thrust at 250 knots. At least not a modern airliner. Without speed brake, that is. So, range to altitude is looking good. We still have to lose a bit of speed while we're making our base turn, so that is pretty much very good. Right, that's Washington coming up right in front. Looks like auto FPS is kinda removing a little bit of stuff over here. A couple of trees and buildings. I gotta try and play with it, just removing auto FPS to see what I get. Would be interesting to know. Okay, so reaching 3000 abeam Fergie, that's pretty good. Then we can use those 5 miles on the turn over here in order to lose our airspeed to intercept the final at a nice speed. 210 maximum at Fergie. Might just want to intercept it a little bit slower. And where is the airport? Here it is. That's our landing runway. Okay, so Washington DC. So here's all the bridges over which the altitudes are defined. I believe those over here are the ones where the Air Florida flight crashed into. Air Florida 90. Hi, Emmanuel in the machine room.
The cabin is now secure for landing.
Thank you. I have a feeling, looking at the range to altitude over here, that we could even just take a direct to Derrick a little bit earlier. I do believe that's permissible on this approach. Let's have a quick look into the chart. Yeah, Fergie Derrick is actually just a transition, so can actually go direct to Derrick. We don't have to fly all the way like that, but we can actually make it a little bit slower, going something like this. Okay then, let's start to slow down. Activate approach phase. Okay, Derek 2. Derek. Insert. So that is looking rather okay. Pretty much on profile. Speed is coming down nicely. Let the speed come down, and then we can go down to 2,600. From there we're going to start the approach over at Derek. Now this is looking pretty nice, isn't it? Really like this one. Really like this look. Okay, so around about 4 miles to run. We're running fine on the speed, running fine on the altitude. That's pretty good. Okay, flaps 1. Speed checked, flaps 1. Intercepting the final path out of CTOC. That's the final approach point right here. Interesting, they call it a final approach point and not a final approach fix though. Normally it's point on approaches where vertical guidance is provided, and well, technically speaking this is not a precision approach, is it? Or are the US authorities defining that differently than the Europeans are? Okay, so a little bit of speed brake in order to make it down into the profile. Approach nav. Okay, approaching Derek, then we can go down to 1700, which we're reaching roughly at Grace, so that's looking good. Here comes the profile. Speed final approach. Flaps 2. Okay, gear down. Go around altitude 3000 set. Again, look at the ECAM memo over here. Cabin ready is on the right now, and the actual memo itself doesn't include it anymore. Also down there you just saw the auto brake test. Okay, flaps 3. Speed checked, flaps 3. And flaps full. Speed checked. Flaps full. Landing checklist. ECAM memo. Landing no blue. Landing checklist complete. This is nice, isn't it? This is really nice. I'm kinda interested to see how the autopilot is going to perform over here, so I'll just keep it engaged for now. We have done videos in the past where we featured this approach on the visual. I'm really wondering how the autopilot is going to fly the RNAV. This just looks so close, doesn't it? And just look at that frame rate. Really happy with the new computer. Really happy with it. Just beautiful. White House over there. Alright.
500.
Checked.
Minimum.
Continue. Alright, starting the final turn. Auto thrust is coming off. I just really want to see how the autopilot performs here. Beautiful. Really beautiful. Okay, autopilot off.
Restart. 5.
Spoilers, reverse green, decel. $70 knots, manual brakes. Starting the timer for 3 minutes immediately so that we can do single engine taxi if needed. Alright, welcome to Washington. Now let's go out to the right hand side. We'll be crossing the runway straight over here. So clear left side, clear right side, clear to cross. Okay then, time for some housekeeping. After landing checklist, radar and predictive wind shear off, after landing checklist complete. So, parking somewhere over here, Charlie something. Let's see if Charlie 29 is available. I have a feeling there might be a plane on there. Yeah, looks like the Delta's standing there, then we'll just go in over here, Charlie 30. Do we have GSX? Charlie 30. No follow me needed. Handling by American. Looking good. Right, so Bravo gates are coming up over here. Starting APU. Strobes can come off as well already. Okay, 30, here it is. Take it slow then. Still need to deactivate those numbers in the GSX settings. Okay, APU avail, APU on. Cabin crew, all doors in park. Okay, engines are running down. Company message. We'll check that in a moment. So, beacon off And these slides are disarmed. Perfect. Parking checklist. Parking brake or trucks. That's the brake set. Engines off, wing light off, fuel pumps off. Parking checklist complete. Alright, my friends, here we are. 4 minutes taxi, and that's beautiful. If only all US airports would be like that. Alright, so we did get a company message. That's probably just the arrival message. Yes, it is. 12:24. What did the schedule look like? And yes, you can commence deboarding. 25. Awesome. So we basically flew it right onto the target on-block time. That is awesome. Just now, and the door has just been opened. Perfect. That's American Airlines punctuality as we want to see it. So guys, I do hope that you've enjoyed this one. If you did, be sure to let me know in the comments below. Gotta say, for a first test flight here in a really demanding environment, I'm really happy with the performance. It just performed. I didn't see any trouble whatsoever there. I locked it at 57 FPS since my monitor supports a maximum of 60, and I gotta say I'm really happy with it. Also, there's lots of reserves available, so my graphics card and my CPU are just running at about 50%. Now, when I bought the new computer, I really wanted something that holds for the next 5 years, and I have a feeling that I've pretty much achieved that. So, all I can say is really happy with the new system, looking forward to flying you guys into a couple of the busier areas of the world in the sooner future. And with that, I'd like to say thank you very much for watching. Hope that you enjoyed this one. If you did, be sure to let me know in the comments below. Leave a like, and if you're up for more, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much, everyone, and then I'm looking forward to see you all again on the next one.